Then I'll get it started. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm John Cameron. I'm the product owner for Avalon Media System and the digital media service manager at IU Libraries. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Avalon, give you the background, and give you updates on what we've been up to. So to just the always what is Avalon Media System? It's a Samvera application for audio and video in particular. So it's designed to make it easy for audio and moving image material to be able to get it up into your platform to stream out and then be able to control access in many different ways. So we have a lot of flexible and very specific access control options that you can put on objects. We try to make it as easy as possible for it to transcode your material. So basically, anything that you want to put in, FFmpeg and all of our tooling will just sort of take care of it for you in terms of making it that streamable media that you can just have people go to, link to. And of course, we do use Fedora, of course, for a Samvera Turkey application, been supported by grants in the past from various institutions. So we do have a pretty big community. So of course, at Indiana University, we use Avalon extensively. There are also other institutions that are either looking at Avalon or have been using Avalon for a while. So we've got some in-progress implementations and then a short list of who's out there using Avalon on our website. We have a monthly roundtable meeting as well that I encourage anyone to show up to. It's pretty informal, mostly Avalon users who are interested in either talking about things that are coming up in development or asking questions or kind of touching base, sharing things. And of course, we have a public Slack channel that's just for Avalon. So I encourage anyone to just jump in there if you have like a quick question or want to chat with the devs. So the latest release is from last August, Avalon Media System 8.1. This was a big dependency upgrade release. So no stranger to everyone in this community, but Rails upgrades, Blacklight upgrades, and then Ramp. We always generally do a release of Ramp, which is our media component library. And this also included a lot of work for us to increase our WCAG 2.1 compliance. So accessibility, of course, has been a big thing on everyone's minds. And we put a lot of time into making sure that the application itself is meeting that level of compliance, for us and other Avalon users. And then we have some other smaller things, blacklight configuration, basically just trying to make it a little bit easier to use, especially when we have very, very large repositories with huge amounts of units and collections. Making the UI a little nice is something that we're constantly tweaking. And then we had a bug fix release, which is normal. Not too much to say about that. We do have a new release, which is coming very, very soon, hopefully this month. At the end, at the end of the month, we're releasing 8.2. And so the big features there are more continued accessibility updates. So this is where we have full WCAG 2.1 AA compliance across the application, and support for adding things to your materials, so captions and transcripts, to make sure that they're actually meeting those accessibility criteria. It's going along there. The other big change is to the permissions model. So before in Avalon, units weren't full objects. So there was kind of no like admin set type thing in Avalon. It was basically sort of very collection focused, which made managing large units who had either many collections or many different staff members on the collections a bit cumbersome. So this changes units to be full objects, so they have permissions. So now if you have your moving image archive, you can put staff on your unit. And then those staff would inherit permissions to actually edit the collection. So you don't have to be individually editing collections to either add or remove staff or do those sort of things. So management wise, it will hopefully be a lot easier, especially if you have a lot to manage in your Avalon instance. The other thing that we've worked on is audio description support. So in the past, we've had support for adding caption and transcript documents to items in Avalon. And audio description is sort of like the next step. So we have partial support there. I'm working on full support, but you can upload now text tracks for audio description, and they will be spoken aloud in the player and represented as a transcript would for accessibility purposes. And then we have a lot of API updates that come sort of out of the work of the permission model changes, and also just making it easier for people who have large ingests to be able to, create those objects via the API. And that includes, adding in those binaries for captions or transcript documents or any sort of binary that they would want to add. Yeah, so to shout out RAMP, this is our media component library. It's in Samvera Labs. It's a sort of a very general purpose kind of AV component library that includes the media player itself and then a lot of other little things to render all of the extra stuff. So transcripts, files, structural information. Oh, that guy. So we have RAM 4, which was in Avalon 8.1, has more support for displaying the textual body annotations that are coming through the manifest. So, basically displaying those markers or annotations that are sort of living and making sure that users can actually see them if they load the object in the ramp interface. This one I had before, but this is sort of just a quick look at what it looks like. So they have annotations, as in IIIF annotations on the object, and coming with it, it will display here in the annotations listing, and users can use this to navigate through the material. So for 8.2, yeah, we've got a lot of accessibility stuff. Like I said, support for audio description text tracks, transcript documents. But the other big thing is a new configurable restriction that you could put on items to restrict them from being published. So this is sort of like you know, archival exception sort of thing where we have a lot of material that might not have captions or transcripts for technical reasons, or we just not have them available because there's a lot of archival content. So we have a new thing that you can configure where you basically won't let collection staff be able to publish until they've met the requirements for adding a caption file or adding a transcript file. And users can basically go in and say, hey, I want to exempt this particular item or not. And that's completely optional, but this is sort of put into place. So, post accessibility deadline, you can put that behavior in to make sure that people aren't publishing stuff publicly in your repository that doesn't meet requirements that are set by your institution. Um, yeah, and so looking beyond that, so again, we're testing and hopefully I'm going to be getting Avalon 8.2 out soon. And then for Avalon 8.3 and then past that, we're looking at continued implementation of standards that we are already currently working on. So we use IIIF a lot in Avalon. And so more of the IIIF APIs that we are currently missing support for or are new and need to be added. So Offload 2.0 is a big one. We do have IIIF Auth 1.0 in a limited implementation in Avalon. But adding this in is going to be big for us. And then presentation 4.0 is coming out. And so we want Avalon to be able to create and consume presentation 4.0 style manifests. The other big one for us is LTI 1.3, which is the LMS interop standard. So we currently support LTI 1.1, which is a little bit out of date. So having an implementation of this, the latest LTI version will help keep Avalon moving and current, especially in cases where it's used for course reserves. So we use it for course reserves for our media content, and other universities do too. So that's just making sure we're current. The other thing we're looking at is bulk metadata tooling. Always a topic of discussion, but another thing to add in Avalon that people have asked for. So we're going to be looking at that. And then an admin dashboard. So Avalon has, management pages for doing various things in the application, but a lot of the site level customization is still based in YAML configuration files. And so we'd like to, pull that out, make it easier to edit in the UI. Oops. Yeah, so that's what we've been up to. That's the update for Avalon. But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions or want to get in touch with us, we have a bunch of means to get in touch with the team here. And thank you very much.